Good morning, dear viewers and followers. This is the second series of my project entitled The Life of Filipino American Retired and Senior Citizens here in San Francisco Bay Area. The first one I published a week ago, and this is just a continuation with the project that I started. So I hope you're going to enjoy this second interview which I have performed on a very successful certified public accountant here in the Bay Area. We could get some good information from this practicing CPA and tax professional that could guide us probably in the future or will help us out in our day-to-day life here in the Bay Area. Once again, just sit down and watch this clip, and I hope you enjoy this one. Thank you and see you on the next posting that I'm gonna have. This is Chris Neri again. Thank you and have a good day. Good morning, dear viewers and followers. Today I'm here with Mr. Al Maglan, a very successful certified public accountant both in the Philippines as well as here in the United States. Mr. Maglan has been here for quite some time, spent many years of his life here in the United States. And I thank him for giving me this opportunity to interview him and share his experiences, his personal lives while here still in America. So, Mr. Al Maglan, good morning.
Good morning.
And once again, thank you for allowing me to interview you.
You're welcome. It's just my pleasure and privilege to be sharing my experiences in the Philippines and in America.
Name?
My full name is Alvin Kato Maglan. Actually, I'm part Japanese from my mother's side. My grandfather has been here, but he passed away before I was born. And the funny thing is that I started schooling at Holy Ghost around 5.5 years old, and my father was a little bit impatient because at that time I could already write my name and recite all the alphabet. So what he did, he brought me to public school, Santo Cristo Elementary School in Tarlac. And I was wondering, because I was one of the smallest, I found out that my classmates were a year or two older than me.
Oh, okay. So
That's funny. And
from what you're telling me, Mr. Al Maglan, it looks like you have that intelligence,
well,
inherent intelligence.
the thing is, you're not really emotionally mature at the time. So I was wondering, but that when I was with SGV, I practically had been working a lot of overtime. I met a lot of people. I've seen a lot of places in the Philippines, which is to me a bonus because besides my work, which is not really easy because puro overtime,
Yeah. So
And then,
anyway, so you worked with SGB before.
yeah, I was there for over 6 years before I came home.
When was that?
In the late 60s, early
Yeah.
70s. So
So you're lucky to be employed with SGB because this is the company where you actually develop your accounting skills and
Yeah,
finally land a good job somewhere else.
well, you're what you call it, born. In other words, if you're from SGB, it's a well-known company in the Philippines, also even in America.
Okay. So, in the Philippines, Mr. Al Maglan, what did you do? Where did you work?
Well, I work as
As-
an auditor, and before I was working as a assistant to a graduate school in Philippine Normal College.
Oh, okay.
So I was really a working student when I was with in universities.
Mm-hmm.
I started schooling at Philippine College of Commerce, PCC,
Mm.
and then after 2 years I moved to University of These.
Oh,
where I
UAE.
completed my Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Okay. So, you have worked with big private firms, is that right, in the Philippines?
I audited them,
So,
yes.
so you were actually already doing good, basically, I would put it that way. So, what made you decide, Mr. Maglan, to migrate to United States?
Well, it's better opportunities because in the Philippines, you're stuck sometimes at even if you're a controller, which I was in one of the jobs. I see myself as being limited. The funny thing is this: when I was with SGV, I was promoted. I was being promoted as a manager to go to Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I met Doy Laurel, which is the brother of Shooter Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, what I did. You know what he said, Al? I think if you were in Indonesia, you're gonna be as successful there because there are very few accountants, CPAs like yourself. In America, you'll just be one of those bright boys, which is true. And I have no regrets. It's one of the things that I should have done, but it paid them. I guess made me stay in California.
So your thought is that if you go to America, you will have a better future rather than stay in the Philippines. Is that right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
So,
much so.
what year and how old are you when you come over to America?
I was already 27 when I came over.
Well, you're still young. You have a lot of
Well, yeah.
opportunities at that time. So, when is this? When did you come over?
In 1970,
Okay.
71.
Okay, 1971, you come over, 27 years old, full of hope. Then you spend your time in America. So what happened in United States?
Well, when I came over, it's not easy because there was a lot of people with no jobs in America.
And in 1970,
in the 1970s. Yeah,
there was
jobs.
a recession?
Well, the jobs are not, they don't come by,
Okay.
So I was staying in one of the apartment in San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to walk from there to Market Street, which is funny, and I have holes in my shoes by doing that. But I got lucky because I was hired by a minority firms of CPAs,
Okay.
and I started working on big companies like Oakland Unified School District, Berkeley, and Ford Foundation, those kind of stuff. So I gained a lot of experience, and my partner were amazed. How he said, "How come you were able to do all of this?" I said, "Yeah, I've been trained already as an accountant in the Philippines, so it came in easy for me."
So, Al, during time in United States, you were able to stabilize yourself very fast. You came over at 27 years old. Were you married then at that time when you came
I
over?
got married 6 months before I came over.
So 6 months before, so you have to leave your wife in the Philippines
Yeah, for only 3 months. She came over after 3 months.
after 3 months. Okay, so what happened to your personal life, love life, and also your work or any hardships that you encounter while you're still here in the United States?
Well,
Any memorable moments, I would say.
in the U.S., I used to live in an apartment near Lake Merritt, which is a very beautiful place,
Okay.
even today.
Yeah, I know that place.
And I have a lot of friends, and I bought my car after a year or so, and then I started driving. So at the time, I had a sports car, which is two-door.
What kind of car is that?
It is a Cutlass, Oldsmobile Cutlass. It's a
wow.
power car. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and what happened was that I was lucky to have joined the JCs, Organization of Young Men.
Yeah.
So I've been to a lot of places in California.
Yeah. So you basically, during your time here in United States, Mr. Maglan, you were very active on civic organizations. You know, you
Yes, very much so.
you were with which kind of organization that Rotarians,
JCs.
JCs. Also, I think you were also a Grand Knight of Knights of Columbus.
Correct, lately, yeah.
And one of the most significant thing that you have done is you became a president of our local organization called PICPA USA.
Yes.
You-
And I can also tell you that I was one of the founders of the NCPACA.
Okay, so Wow.
Even our
yeah.
chapter.
So for your
PICPA USA.
dear viewers, for your information, NCPACA stands for National Councils of Filipino Americans Canadian. So this is a large organization covering United States and Canada,
North America, yeah.
which has more or less over 1,000 members. And it just so happened that my friend here, my good friend Al Maglan, was one of the founders of this organization. So he became a past president, and at the same time also a past president of our local organization here in the Bay Area. An accomplishment that I envy, because these are accomplishments that will stay with you forever. So I'm very happy just to be here with Al Maglan, being a friend. And aside from those other civic organizations that you have joined, what other activities did you do, Mr. Maglan, that worth mentioning in this 20 minutes interview?
Well, I've been involved with Knights of Columbus, and we are doing a lot of donations, I guess, and sometimes volunteering. Like we're spearheading a hospitality nights for the church almost every month, every Sunday, once a Sunday. But that was stopped because of the COVID-19.
Yeah,
So,
I know. So,
and
so basically, from what you have told me, Al Maglan, you are one of those very few individuals here that I have met who actually became successful and was able to achieve their better life, as we say it here in United States.
my philosophy in life is that after I work overseas, I work in Suriname, which is Dutch Guyana, and I went to Brazil almost every other month. I spoke Portuguese and I could understand Spanish quite well, although I'm not really fluent in speaking it. But it helped me a lot. Also, I have something in the head from my father. I'm not afraid to meet anybody in my life. You could be a high officer or what have you. You could be a lowly janitor. It doesn't matter to me,
Okay.
I have that
Yeah, I think you have that. Yeah,
confidence that
yeah.
which is became inborn in me. So
Yeah. I agree. I agree, Mr. Al Maglan. When I met you, you were a person that could easily get along with, not hard to be with, and also you have an aura that is very welcoming, Mr. Al Maglan. And this
Thank
is
you.
a very nice attitude. Now, from the things that you have said, you basically have a better life here in United States. Did you accomplish what you were actually trying to accomplish, or did your expectations were realized?
well, I was surprised, being the pioneer in most of these organizations, which is actually what I call it boosts your confidence as a person. And also one of the things I probably have seen it, we have established a Hall of Fame organization within the council. It's called the councilors.
Okay.
The councilors are people who help the council. It's patterned after the senator of JCs, so that's on
Oh,
the basis.
okay.
But it was a very good criteria for people who who really want to do a lot of things for their chapter, the community, also their personal life.
Okay, so Mr. Al Maglan, before we end up this interview, can you tell me on what you can advise those people who are still intending or planning to come over to United States, what would be their expectations briefly?
Well, I would say that if you came over here, you got to adjust to you got to be acculturized. In other words, you got to see the community around you, you got to see the people, and you try to get along. Okay, because being a minority, Asians at that, you sometimes really stand out as a minority.
Okay.
So you have to be self-confident. You have to study hard if you need to. And I've been studying, all my life. The CP is for my CPA license, which is
Yeah, it's
very
good to
expensive and time-consuming.
So, Mr. Maglan, if you don't mind, how old are you right now?
I'm 79.
79. So, what are your plans that now that you have accomplished, but you plan to accomplish,
Well,
and you still have many years left to you, and you look like you're still very healthy, Mr. Al Maglan.
well, I
Al Maglan is an example of a Filipino American citizen who became successful in his adventure here in United States. He is one of those few that I have met that were very successful in their field of profession. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you will listen to all subsequent video that I will post with the same format. I'm planning to interview a lawyer. I'm also planning to interview another CPA who has been a very successful employee of Lockheed. I'm also interviewing a woman who is a practicing tax professional here in the Bay Area. So stay tuned, my dear viewers, and I am positive that you will be able to learn something out of this studio. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.